Hi there, it's Livia here. Chances are that if you're watching this video, it's because you are struggling with color mixing. So today I'm going to show you how to mix any color by using a limited palette of 5 pigments. Stay tuned. Nowadays, there are a number of colors available for purchase at the art supply shops. And if you are a beginner, it can be very confusing to decide what colors to buy and which ones can mix almost all the colors you ever need. So today I'm going to show you how you can mix any color you want by using a limited palette of 5 pigments. So before I mix colors, let's talk about the structure of a color. A color has 3 core elements: hue, value, and chroma or saturation. So hue is about the color group. So blue is a color group. All the blues will belong to that blue family. The reds, like cadmium red, vermilion, primary red, all of them will belong to the red family. And the same with the yellow, all the yellows, and the greens, the orange family, and etc. Value is about how dark or how light a color is. So it's about shades. Saturation or chroma is about the intensity of the color, the grayness of your color. How gray, how vibrant, how bright it is. The saturation is the challenging bit. It's about making grays. And there are ways to make grays. If you are after more brilliance in your colors, I quite like using the impressionist approach, so I prefer to use the complementary color concept when it comes to mixing my grays. So let's get started. Okay, so these are my colors. So that's French ultramarine blue, primary magenta by My Mary Puro, acrylamide yellow light or primary yellow, phthalo blue or cyan blue, and this is titanium white. Okay, so those 3 colors here, blue, yellow, red, are considered the primary colors. You will notice that some painters, they will consider the phthalo blue, that yellow, and this magenta, primary magenta, as the primary colors, as they follow the CMY color system: cyan, magenta, and yellow. All the artists will prefer this here. They will probably replace magenta with crimson red or cadmium red deep, and as they use a traditional palette. So I quite like having both blues in my palette. I can mix any kind of blue just by having those 2. So I consider this here really my primary colors. 2 blues, 1 yellow, and this is lovely. I love that color. So here, as I mix 2 primary colors, well, French ultramarine blue, if we can consider that as a primary, or a tertiary, the purpley blue. So with those 2 colors I can make beautiful purples. So I can make better purples with this blue than that one, okay? Because the phthalo blue tends to the green side. This one tends to the red side, so it's much closer to red in the color wheel. Then, as I mix primary red and yellow, I can get beautiful oranges. There we go, nice and bright. Can make it lighter just by adding more yellow. And so here I can mix yellow and blue and create another secondary color. So secondary colors are the colors created by mixing 2 primers together. Okay, I'll make a little bit more of that. Oops. So that's it. So these are my secondary colors. So if I add more blue here, I can create a variation of green, a green that tends to the blue side. So these are called tertiary colors on the color wheel. So if I go this way with more yellow, oops, I used all the yellow. So I've got another type of green that goes towards the yellow side. So I can do the same here, just add a bit more yellow. So it changes it completely. So I can mix a yellow deep just by adding a touch of this red. Oops. Then I can add a bit more of this here. Actually, that's quite similar. So I've got a range of oranges and reds here. So the same with this one. So these are the colors you see on the color wheel. Primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. See that all those colors are quite vibrant, quite saturated. Okay. So here we have the hue, the blue family. So that's the red, that's the yellow. Same family, blue. Then again, different color groups. So that's the orange family, the orange hues, the greens, and the purples. So this here is about hue, color groups. Now we go into the next element of color, which is value. So just mix a little bit more of those secondary colors, so we have enough to break it down into different shades. So just put a bit more. A little bit more of that one. If I mix yellow with ultra blue, I can get different types of green. So now I'm going to change the value of these colors, the depth, towards the light side. So I'll get a bit of white. I could just go from here. Oops. So I can add some of this. Can make one a bit darker. Do the same with this here. Actually, I'll add a bit more yellow to that. Cool. So I can lighten green by using yellow as well, until I need to add a bit of white to go even lighter. Just put some of this here. Can do the same with this. Actually, I'm going to add a bit more yellow here as well. Add some white. Even more white. So I've got 3 shades. 1, 2, 3. Same with this. Take some. So see how many colors we are creating now, just by using this here. Different types of pink. More white. If I want to change this here, make it a bit warmer, I can just add a bit of yellow. See, I can change it. Depends on what color you're after, okay? But this is a good exercise. It's purple. So there we go. So we get some white, put some white here. Ooh, Beautiful color. Love it. Then another one even lighter. Ooh, I forgot this one here, so I can just add a little bit of white and we can see what happens. There we go. Then this one is quite bluish. Let's see. So you can experiment and see what kind of, what possibilities you can get out of this. Okay. Then this one, put a bit more yellow. And the same, you can add a bit of white here. So it's completely different, isn't it? It's a bit grayish. A bit more olivey here. And a bit grayer. Yeah, totally different. And then, so you learned here how you can lighten those colors. You just adding more white to go even lighter. Now let's see the other side, how we can darken them. So that's why I put this here, because now I can use them to darken it. So put a bit of this here as well. Put the yellow here. Just put the blue here. Okay, right. So to darken these colors, I'm going to apply the complementary color concept. The complementary colors are the ones that are sitting opposite to each other on the color wheel. So if you look at a color wheel, you see that yellow is opposite to purple. So they complement each other. Red complements green. Blue complements orange. So when those two complementary colors are put together, they will form black. Okay, so if I choose this here, for example, red, and I want that red to go darker, I can just choose a bit of green. If I have green already mixed on my palette, otherwise I can use blue and yellow and just add different quantities to my red. So I'll go here and I can darken it. If I add a little bit more green, I go even darker towards the brown side. Same with purple. So I'll be using yellow. So when I show this here to my students, especially the beginners, they all make a funny face when I say that yellow makes purple darker. It doesn't make sense, does it? But in fact, it doesn't make darker. It makes it a bit more opaque, more blackish, so it's not as vibrant as this here, if you can see there on the camera. So this one is kind of a reddish orange. So let's see if I can use here blue, that purpley blue, just blue, to darken it. Yes, so I can go darker. Orange, well, if I add this blue here to this orange is quite yellow, so that will turn into a kind of a muddy green. But it is quite nice. It's like a sort of a raw sienna kind of color, something like that. Okay. Green. So go with a bit of this here, red. Nice. Made it like an olive green. This one. There we go. See how just by using these colors here we can create a harmonious palette. It's like all those colors relate to each other. And they look quite nice together. I could even create a painting just with this here. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? The yellow. I'll get some purple. If I add a little bit more, I go even darker. And so on. Now, so we have here hue, vibrant colors, primaries, secondaries, color groups. Then it's us here changing the value, making colors lighter and darker. Also creating browns. So we kind of started changing the saturation of the color as well as we add the complementary color. So we got browns, it's a more neutral color. Then the third group is the grays, the chromatic grays, the most challenging group. So those colors can be mixed this way. Let's say that I have yellow here, for example, and I want to make a grayish yellow. Okay, so firstly I'm going to add the complementary color, which is purple. I can just pick from my palette here, or I can use those two. Just add a little bit, mix it in. Then to make it gray, I add a bit of white. So that's one. Can make it lighter. I can make it grayer just by adding more purple. Can even get this paler purple here, which is easier, and so on. Okay, so that's a grayish yellow. If I want this here, for example, so I've got this blue, so I'll get orange, kind of a reddish orange. Add a little bit, not too much. Add some white. It's still too vibrant, so I need more complementary color, more opposite color here. I want that to be lighter so we can see it better. See, so that's a grayish blue. Again. So I want that to be very, very gray. Put a little bit more white. More of this here. See, every time I add little bits of this, it goes grayer. Don't even need to add any more white. I can just keep going with the complementary color. Okay. Then next, well, if I take from here, for example, see that green has got some white already. So put that here. Green, red. So I can go here. That's my gray. Just a lighter gray. Can go that way. And so on. So that goes to all these colors. If I want this to be grayish, let's put that here. Lighten it. And then search for the opposite, or you can just go here. So let's see what happens if I add this green. Just a bit more grayish. And then more white. More green. That's going there, isn't it? If I want that to be very gray, just go a little bit heavier with the green. So I'm changing the saturation of this color. Okay, see that we don't need black here. If I want to make black, I can just mix those three colors together. Ooh, now I'm running out of it. Just steal from here. There we go. Black. Back to the grays. Let's see if I can do another one. I can mix a purple gray, a grayish purple beside yellow. So go with yellow and a bit of white. If I don't add white, I'll make the purple go towards brown. As soon I add a little bit of white, the color becomes grayish, softer. And if I, oh, still yellow from here, if I add a bit more yellow, I can push that purple gray to the yellow side. So these colors here are very important, especially when you're painting landscapes. Atmospheric perspective, things in the distance will have this sort of colors instead of this here. Could go even grayer. Put a bit more white here, so it can go very grayish. So here, if I wanted that to be even grayer, so I can get more purple, and just add more. And that will be the same for all those colors. I can keep adding the complementary color and they will get grayer. So that's it. So we have primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary, and then different shades of those colors here. We've got the browns, we've covered the grays, and that's the basics of color mixing. Another thing that I forgot to show you earlier is this here. The difference between this blue. See, when you mix white with it, you can get more turquoise blues. And the ultramarine blue is completely different. Thanks to the purple side. So both are quite nice. That's it. So these are the basics about color mixing. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you'd like to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is also a link below this video in the description area that will take you to a PDF, a printable about color. So it's a roadmap, and there you have graphics of primary colors, secondary colors, color wheels, complementary color, all the definitions, value, chroma, saturation, all sorts of things. So don't forget to check in the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.